Hi, I'm Gary the Water Guy, and I own the water filter Estore and the Water Store in Midland, Ontario. Today we're doing a review of the Aquamaster AMS 900 Water Softener. Water softeners have become a necessity all across North America. The hard water is causing lots of problems in terms of staining, but also making your home much less efficient. So with a water softener, the home is much easier to keep clean because there's not water stains wherever water sits or splashes. You don't get those crusty little stains. Also, your hot water heater stays much more efficient because you don't have that staining, that buildup on your heating elements. Your washing machine will last longer, your dishwasher will last longer. You'll also save money because with a water softener, you'll use far less detergent than you would with hard water. Tankless hot water heaters, a lot of folks are going to those these days. A water softener is pretty much a necessity with those because it makes the heat exchanger last much longer because you don't have the buildup inside all the little water passages inside those. So the Aquamaster is NSF and ENERGY STAR approved. It uses 80% less water and 60% less salt than a typical regular efficiency water softener because an Aquamaster is a high efficiency water softener. Now that doesn't mean it uses any less hydro than a typical water softener. A typical water softener will only use about $2 worth of hydro a year, as will the Aquamaster. But because of its low water usage and low salt usage, that's what makes it a high efficiency water softener. It also has a built-in sediment filter. So every time it backwashes, it cleans out that sediment filter. So it's not a sediment filter that you have to replace or a cartridge that you have to renew. It's in there all the time, looks after itself. It also uses KDF process media. What does that do for you? Well, it keeps your water fresher and it gets rid of any mild little odors that are in the water. A big benefit. Also has a 10-year warranty. The Aquamaster AMS 900 is fully made in the USA. Has been made by a very stable company that's been around for 40 or 50 years. Well, that's all great information, but what we're really doing today is we're reviewing the Aquamaster AMS 900. So let's talk first of all about its performance. I rate it as a 10 out of 10, and the reason I do that is because it consistently produces soft water using very little salt and using very little water to regenerate. Also, the number one comment I get from customers after we install it, they say, hey, this thing doesn't seem to be working. I say, why not? And he say, well, it doesn't seem to use any salt at all. And I go back and I check, and sure enough, it's working fine. It's just that the customers are used to a typical water softener using so much more salt that when they see how little salt the Aquamaster AMS 900 uses, they're convinced it's not working, but it's working perfectly. It's one of the great features about it. Its capacity. I rated only 8 out of 10 on its capacity. The reason is it's limited by its size. Now it's sitting up on a chair here right now, so it's actually only about this tall. And so what happens is, not only does it not hold a lot of salt, it doesn't need to hold a lot of salt to be honest, so that's not really a negative because it uses so little salt. But its capacity in terms of how much softening, how many grains of softening it can produce. So for example, if your water is 40 grains per gallon of hardness or higher, or if you have 6 people in the family, this is going to be too small for you. And this is the largest model Aquamaster that's available. So you'll have to go to a standard efficiency water softener because it won't do the job. Cost to operate, I rate it as a 10 out of 10. And again, because that low salt usage, that low water usage, and again, if you're on a municipal water system, you're paying for every gallon of water used to regenerate the water softener. So when one like this only uses 13 or 14 gallons to regenerate, compared to a typical standard efficiency water softener that's 50, 60, or even 90 gallons of water to regenerate, that's going to save you money. But also the $2 worth of hydro it uses a year. Super cheap to operate. In terms of ease of installation, I rate it as a 9 out of 10. It's very small, as you can see now. Very easy to fit in, easy to find space for it just about anywhere. Could be installed in a finish area like a bathroom, laundry room, even a bedroom closet. It comes with a great installation kit, as you can see here. You just remove the top to prepare for the installation, and it's just 3 easy connections. A line in, a line out, and then the connection here goes to the drain. The only place installation-wise that I find it lets me down a little bit is with these fittings. They're used to attach the plumbing to the end. They work fine, they work perfectly. The only concern that I have is if I had to attach and reattach this water softener, maybe for a draining type situation in a cottage or something like that, I'm worried that of the longevity of these fittings. So only a small niggle, but something that I'm not 100% pleased with. Other than that, like I say, great installation kit, even comes with a drain line. In terms of features, I rate this valve as an 8 out of 10. It has a lot of great features. It takes care of all basic functions of the water softener perfectly. It even has where you can program in obviously the hardness setting, but also the amount of iron, manganese, etc. that you have in your water. You can also choose whether you're using sodium or potassium chloride as a regenerant. So that's, again, great features. Where it kind of lets me down is it doesn't have a day's override. So specifically in cottage situations or in situations where people are away a lot, a second home, that kind of thing, I like to have a day's override feature. So in other words, if the water softener hasn't regenerated, hasn't used up its capacity within a certain amount of days, usually 14 days, that'll automatically regenerate after the 14th day. This doesn't have that feature, and again, it may lead itself to salt clogging a little bit more easily, but I spoke about that earlier about how easy it is to make sure you don't get a salt clogging. So in terms of parts availability, I rate the Aquamaster AMS 900 as an 8 out of 10. Parts are readily available. They have a great service department. They ship out the parts quickly. I carry the parts here in stock at all times, so I can service my customers very readily, but it is a proprietary product, so that means you can only get replacement parts from an Aquamaster dealer. Longevity, I rate it as a 10 out of 10, and I've seen these in the field for 15 years all over the place, and I see them constantly being used. We have never replaced an Aquamaster water softener. Out of all the water softeners we've replaced lots of different brands, but never an Aquamaster water softener. And the biggest thing that I've noticed is I went to see a customer that has one of these that's 25 years old and it's still working fine. Wow, that's longevity. In terms of reliability and build quality, I rate this a 9 out of 10. They work great, they consistently produce soft water, but where they have one hiccup is that because it's a high efficiency water softener, and by the way, all high efficiency water softeners have this one hiccup, they tend to clog, salt clog fairly readily. Now, to get around that, the best bet is make sure the salt level gets very low before you fill it back up. And the other thing is, once a year, if you can run right out of salt, that's a good thing. That'll minimize or totally eliminate that salt clog hiccup. In the initial investment, I rate it as a 10 out of 10. Most high efficiency water softeners are a premium product. In other words, they often cost twice as much as a standard efficiency water softener. And to be honest, there's very few high efficiency water softeners on the market. The Aquamaster AMS 900 is only slightly more, only a slightly larger investment than a regular efficiency water softener. In terms of styling and aesthetics, I rate it a 10 out of 10 because, as you can see, it's very clean, it's very neat, it's very totally enclosed. Now, when you have that in a utility room or in a furnace room downstairs, it really doesn't matter what it looks like. But often, we run into situations where folks don't have a lot of space, and cottage applications is a typical situation. So often these end up in laundry rooms. So you have a finished laundry room, you'd like to have a nice finished product, easier to keep clean, and also we've installed some of these in bathrooms, in bedrooms, in closets, areas like that. Well, aesthetics become much more important then. So what's the verdict? I give it a Gary the Water Guy 92 out of 100 score. Great product, super efficient, great longevity, made in USA. You can't go wrong with this product. And that's it. If you like what you saw today, please click the subscribe button. That way you'll be notified about all the new videos as they become available on our YouTube channel. If you'd like some more information, just go to our websites. Either you can go to thewaterfilterestore.com or thewaterstoremidland.com. And again, it's Gary the Water Guy from the Water Store in Midland, Ontario. Thanks for watching.